the nastiest,
welcome.
funkiest beat, bruh?
Yeah, thank you.
Why
I
is it
made it.
so just nasty and funky?
I just when I made it, I was just like, I'm feeling like a dirty piece of meat today. So I'm
Feeling
like,
nasty
what
and
would a dirty piece of meat sound
funky.
like? And that's what I came up with. I
That's
used my
good.
keyboard, like one of the most magical instruments in the world, to make the song sound like a dirty piece of meat, as one does. As one does. Welcome
Nasty.
to another episode of the BPA Show. I'm your host, Boggins, and this is the other host, Mr. Coach Patrick Chiotti. What's up, Mike?
Thank you. What's going on, dude? It's almost Friday, man. That's the best way that I can explain this week. It's almost Friday.
100%.
How are you doing? How you doing?
You know what? I'm doing pretty good, man. I've been real busy lately, but today I convinced the wife that we need a new grill, because I tell you what, I have been taking things from my friends. I'm like, oh, you have that old grill you don't use anymore that you're about to just go take to the dump. I'll try and revamp it, make it all good again so I can use it. And I just never do, and it just rusts out. And I'm like, well,
oh my gosh.
So now I'm just like, hey, babe, you know what we might need is maybe, I don't know, a new grill. And she's like, that's a great idea. And I'm like, oh shit, it is? Damn, hell yeah. Skippity D, I'm down. So I'm about to go to Costco after this and maybe get myself a Traeger.
Or a Blackstone.
That's true.
Don't sleep on them Blackstones, man.
Okay, all right.
Those are high quality equipment. You're gonna have the wifey saying, "Smile for me."
Oh, okay. What's the Amazon review on that? Is it good?
Just go get you a Blackstone.
Oh, okay. All right. That sounds good.
Get you a Blackstone.
Well, today, peeps, we're going to go over our defensive side of the top 5 prospects at each position. I hope you all are ready, because last time we had a great time going over our offensive prospects. A lot of solid prospects on the offensive side of the ball. The defensive side of the ball gets a little weird at a couple positions, and specifically safety and inside linebacker is not the greatest in the world.
It's not a great defensive draft, in my opinion. Like it's there's stars here and there, right? Yep. Like there's a couple of guys sprinkled in. I feel like the cornerback position is probably the deepest in the class. Edge is also
those two. Yeah, I would say
like cornerback and edge. I feel like those are the ones that are going to last the longest amount of rounds. Like you're still going to be able to get quality guys in the 4th and 5th rounds. But like interior defensive line, big drop off. Safety, there might not even be a safety selected in the 1st round this year.
Maybe not.
Probably not.
We'll see.
I'm excited to get into the into this breakdown of the top 5 because there's gonna be some surprises.
Yeah, I agree. Let's get into it. Let's start it off with the cornerbacks. Like you were saying, dude, like this is one of those drafts that has quite an insane amount of talent in the cornerback room. I don't think there's I don't really think there's there's not necessarily a Patrick Surtain or Sauce Gardner or anybody like that's kind of above the rest necessarily in this group. Obviously, we have here Christian Gonzalez and Devon Witherspoon, which everybody, I don't think a lot of people were super surprised by that at the top, but I don't think there's a huge drop off, and you could literally make a case for probably any of those top 3 at moving around between 1, 2, and 3 positionally.
Yeah, I think going into the draft process at the end of the college football season, I think there were a lot of guys that were like, oh, Keely Ringo is definitely cornerback 1. Like it's going to be Keely Ringo and Joey Porter Jr. and Christian Gonzalez. Like those are your top 3. And then some guys started creeping up out of nowhere. Again, Devon Witherspoon was one of those dudes who was like super quietly having an amazing season at Illinois. That whole defense was absolutely bonkers. And then your boy Deonte Banks out of nowhere, like just you mentioned him at one point a few months ago, and then all of a sudden he's being discussed as a first round pick. Like, and now Keely Ringo is like, oh, is he going to be even picked in the first round? Is he going to be a first round dude? Like, and he's still super talented. He's still a crazy athlete. But I think that people and draft pundits everywhere kind of realize like, oh, there might be some other guys in this class that will have a bigger impact in the draft than the guys that we previously thought. It happens every year with a multitude of different positions, but I feel like this was the position where we've had the most fluctuation between who the top guy is or who the top two guys are versus the rest of the group.
Yeah. I mean, I've out of this group, I've loved Devon Witherspoon and Deonte Banks for quite a long time. And they finally got the love they deserved. But it's just kind of weird to see how it goes where, you know, there's a lot of hype at first for one cornerback, especially if in their previous year they were a stud, right? And you kind of that kind of carries over a little bit. Then Keely Ringo kind of got a lot of heat for his hips. When we got into the offseason, a lot of people started going back on the tape and watching a little bit more, and it just this is one of those situations where people just move around, you know, hype moves around, actual talent moves, like it's interesting. But yeah, so we of course here, as you can kind of see, we have Keely Ringo at number 5, Deonte Banks at number 4. We got Joey Porter Jr. at number 3, who I think is going to be a press man stud at the next level.
Definitely.
If you thought Sauce Gardner was good at press man, I think this dude is a little bit bigger, maybe not as fat. I don't remember what Sauce ran and his 40, but I like both didn't have like insane 40s. I'm pretty sure. Well, maybe Sauce was in his 4.4s actually. I think Joey ran 4.5, something like that.
He ran. Oh man.
If I can remember correctly. But and then I don't know, the 1 and 2 is going to be interesting because it's kind of like depends on what you want. Obviously Christian Gonzalez has a little bit, he's a bit taller, but they're like
a little more size.
Yeah, but frame wise they're pretty close to the same. I think Devon Witherspoon has more opportunity to move to nickel if they really want him to, but I would prefer that talent on the outside, obviously. But
I think for Joey Porter Jr., him having that pedigree as like, oh, he's Joey Porter's son, and he's been around pros his entire life, and you can see it on the tape. It's like he's going to be a bully at the next level. I think this is a group of corners that is just kind of like all over them. They all have different skill sets that make them very unique, right? Like Keely Ringo has great instincts, but like you said, the hips, the mobility, he's straight line speed, not a problem. Dude has juice.
4.38, right? Something like that.
Yeah. And Joey Porter Jr. ran a 4.46.
Oh, okay. So not quite 5.
He's no slouch, but he's got the speed. I just worry about him in those in zone concepts or off man concepts where he's not able to really use his physicality. Like we always teach cornerbacks, like still be physical within the route, but at the next level, that's going to be something that's so ticked on by referees. It's going to be tough for him. I think Christian Gonzalez, as far as his skill set goes, is just matching the routes. Obviously he has the size. He can be a press corner if he really wants to, but he's not going to be that bully. He's just going to be that technician, right? Other guys in this class, like there are guys in this class that, like Devon Witherspoon, will probably be better suited for the slot position. I think Witherspoon could probably play either outside or inside. Clark Phillips from Utah is the guy that we've kind of already designated as a slot corner. And then Cam Smith. Cam Smith is a guy that will probably be able to go inside or outside. But those are also guys that they will have a little bit of attitude to them. They will bring that kind of that dog mentality that you want in your secondary. And Devon Witherspoon, to me, like, he's going to be the ultimate dog. Like this guy didn't even, like, he didn't start playing ball until his senior year of high school.
Yep.
And now he's being talked about as a potential top 10 pick in this draft class. I think it's going to be really interesting to see where these top 5 corners go. But I think that each one of them could be a first round corner, and each one of them is going to bring a different skill set to whatever team they land on.
Yep. Completely agree. All right. Let's move on to inside linebackers. Oh, yummy. Yummy. Okay. So we are in an age now where what even is a linebacker anymore? Like, what even is an inside? Like, you have your off-ball linebackers and you have your outside linebackers that are really edges. Then you have your nickels that are really safeties-ish sometimes, but kind of like your hybrid tweeners. Then you just have your giant, with a lot of this class might actually be just your big A-gap blitzer.
Yeah. Stuff the run.
Yeah. Just get in there and stuff it because we're running nickel anyways. So we don't really care about just get in there. Right. Just pressure the interior as much as possible. And that's kind of like where we're moving. And so there's not like there's no more like Luke Kuechly's really out there. However, there is one of these guys who is trained by Luke Kuechly. We'll get into in a second. But so let's just kind of go over real quick. Ready to go. We got Henry wait, how do you even Oh, okay. You don't actually know. You were just all right. That's fine.
I'm just guessing. Basic.
If you're listening, Henry, I'm so sorry. Please be our friend and teach us how to pronounce your last name correctly. I apologize. Obviously, was a stud coming into the season, and I mean, it still is. I just think he has more of an issue with getting tunnel vision a lot, where he's kind of gets focused on one thing, even though he's really good at predicting and reading.
Yeah,
he can get distracted and doesn't see the chip block coming, and kind of throw him off his game, and then he can't catch up. So that's kind of my issue with Henry a bit.
I think he's not the biggest dude, but he's got good playing speed. I think really good sideline to sideline speed, good closing speed. He takes great angles as well. I was really hoping that in returning to Alabama this year, I was really hoping that he would have a much better year. And it was just kind of so-so. Like it was just more of the same. And he really didn't stand out as much to me as he did the previous year.
It'd be really interesting to see him maybe as like kind of your nickel back, like right, kind of like what Brian Branch did for them. Kind of like you're more box safety size wise, because he's not the thickest dude in the world. He's under 230. He's still 6'2", which is still a good decent height. I don't know. I don't think he doesn't really have the strength to scrape very well either across the line. He's just not. But again, you're not really. What are we looking for nowadays, right? For
anything outside, like anything that flows outside. So teams are looking for players to defend the outside zone, right? Because outside zone, the Shanahan system is becoming so prominent in the NFL. You need linebackers that do have that closing speed and can diagnose early and take that angle and cut everything off. Don't let that thing get upfield, right? And that's something that he's actually pretty good at. It's something that stood out to me. But as far as like inside and being able to read and diagnose from the inside aspect and learning how to scrape, I don't see it. But I think you have a point. Use him in a different way. Use him to be that guy that's going to contain the edge rather than the guy that's going to be, stuffing inside. You don't want him in the A or B gap. You want him outside.
Yep. Unlike pretty much every other inside linebacker on this list, obviously Ivan Pace, just an absolute bullet and a headhunter. Just Man. Like, dude had what? We were talking about this before. 12 sacks.
It was
blitz. Like he's quicker than his I don't remember what his RAS score was, but
It wasn't that great.
He is actually quicker than what he comes off as.
Yeah. So Ivan Pace had 12
4.6.
sacks, 18 hits, 25 hurries, and 55 total pressures. While still a good tackler, not terrible in coverage. You'd like to see him be a little bit better. But I think that it's a dude that's going to give you a sure defensive player. Like, he's smart. He understands how to shoot the gaps well, and he's going to be a sure tackler. So I'm fine with having him hit in my top 5.
Homie's got turbo lag. He 10-yard split was a 1.7, and then his 20-yard split was a 2.6. So he was in the red for 10-yard and in the green for 20-yard split. He just takes a second. He just takes a second. He's got to get a running start, and if he guesses correctly, you're done.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to another big dude, Mr. Trent. Or not, sorry, not Mr. Trent Simpson. Sorry, Drew Sanders. Drew Sanders out of Arkansas. You know, he kind of reminds me a lot of like a Leo Chenal from last year, where you're just, I mean, you're kind of using him to either blitz on the inside or maybe even use him on the outside occasionally. Just kind of, I don't know. I'm not having him shadow a running back, that's for sure. Right. Him and nickel would be a problem. That's not your sub package backer you want in there for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the best tackler. Really, like he's fine in run defense. I would probably have him rather be someone I bring in blitz packages, or someone that I'm bringing off the edge. I was a little disappointed with his performances athletically. I felt like he was being hyped up to be this, like, oh, he's probably the most athletic linebacker in the class. And I was like, I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one, Chief. 19.6% missed tackle rate. 19.6%. 22 missed tackles, but 11 sacks, 25 hurries, 39 total pressures. I mean, I think if you're looking for a guy you're not going to task him with being a major player in coverage, right? You're not going to task him with being the guy who's going to stop the run, and shut down those running lanes. You're asking him to be the guy to apply pressure. And I think as an off-ball linebacker, this is probably going to be one of the better guys in this class, as far as like just finding a guy that can, create some pressure.
Yep, I agree. I think that's kind of what he's going to be pigeonholed as. Like we were saying, I don't see a lot of these guys being super versatile. I think the closest you're going to get is probably going to be Jack Campbell out of Iowa, who has the ridiculous size. He's obviously not the fastest dude in the world, but he's smart. He knows his assignments. He knows other people's assignments. He's your prototypical Mike linebacker that just has a good amount of power and a decent amount of move laterally. I don't know. I think if you are looking for if you don't have a linebacker that can control your defense, I think Jack Campbell would be one of the closest you're going to get in this draft. And it obviously doesn't hurt that he's been training with Luke Kuechly.
Yeah. I mean, you see Luke Kuechly on his tape. When I watch Jack Campbell play, what I see is Luke Kuechly. When you're talking about Luke, he was probably the most instinctual linebacker that we've seen for a long time. He studied the game religiously. He knew damn near everything that the opposing offense was going to do, the route combinations, how far he needed to make his drop, where if the number 2 is going inside, like he knew exactly what depth he had to be at. And when you watch Jack Campbell, you see a lot of those same tendencies. You see a guy who is just he's looking at the quarterback while still gaining depth and is just right in the lane of where the receiver's route is coming. He studies his opponents to a T, and that is exactly what you want in a Mike linebacker. Is he the fastest guy? No. He's got smoother hips than most people would like to admit. But the way that he can change direction while gaining depth in his drop, the way he stays disciplined, the way he understands route combinations and just knows what spot to be in, it makes him one of the most intriguing linebackers in this class, because he plays the game with like such that studious mentality. Like he's a student of the game. And honestly, I think he should go before round 3. I don't think he's a first round dude. Of course, depending on what teams want and what teams need, but I think that he's a dude that we could see easily early on day 2.
Yep. Number 1, Trent Simpson. Mainly the athletic freak of the bunch.
Just insane.
Just a monster. And going to be running around. You're probably going to use him all over the place. I mean, again, not the best in the world in coverage. That's not really what you're going to utilize him as. Again, say it's what was that? Say different but the same.
Yeah, different but the same. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people. Again, we were talking before the show, and this is the draft of tweener linebackers, man. Like Trenton Simpson is one of those dudes that's going to be in between a linebacker and a safety. He's going to be your star. He's going to be your star player. Like if you need someone to, just play that little chess piece in your defense, he's athletic enough to play inside. He's athletic enough to cover receivers and tight ends down the field. I think that by far and away, he's probably the most athletic of this group. And I think in the right defensive system, he could be a really fun chess piece. Not like Isaiah Simmons was when he was coming out of Clemson. Like that dude was completely different. Like he had crazy size. Like the length was insane. The speed,
like a Zaven Collins, maybe.
Yeah, like a Zaven Collins. But I think as far as this group goes, Trenton Simpson is by far and away the most athletic of the group. I'm excited to see what kind of role he plays at the next level, though.
Moving on to inside. And
here we go. Here's the shocker.
Yeah, baby.
Here's the shocker.
Yeah, baby. Okay, listen.
Jalen Carter's still on the list.
Oh man, draft hype is crazy. Yeah, like what's funny about drafts? I always feel like every time there's someone at the like when the offseason first starts, it's always like the mocks come out, right? And everybody always knows who's going to be, in the top 5 or whatever. And then people start overthinking that hardcore during like the further we get into the offseason. And then NFL teams are like, we've already been scouting these guys for a while. We already knew this is the reason they were up here in the first place, because you heard it from us. So like, Jalen Carter is still Jalen Carter. I don't care that he gained 8 pounds. I don't care. Whatever. Still, he's not going to just lose it in that short amount of time. The dude was going through a lot. I'm sure he gained a lot of stress weight during that whole situation. Not surprised at all. Whatever. All right. So moving to number 5, we got Keanu Benton out of Wisconsin. There's quite a few Badgers that are getting up there this year. Gotta love it.
They're starting to creep.
Gotta love it. Creep. Yeah, just creep. No.
Who sings that song?
What are you talking about? TLC?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Wait.
Shit.
Now I'm gonna have to look that up. Someone in the comments look that up. It actually might not be TLC, and I feel real bad now.
That was a reference to the amazing documentary film The Other Guys.
Oh yeah. Oh wait, but it keeps referencing He keeps referencing.
He keeps saying TLC songs, and they're like, "Why are you
I
quoting
won't
TLC?" He's like,
be no scrub.
I don't know. we don't need no scrubs. See, you just quoted it again.
You just scrub.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you not realize what you're doing?
The Badgers have they got some guys that are creeping up there. I know Joe Tippmann's one of your dudes.
Yeah, he is.
Keanu Benton is another dude. Nick Herbig is another dude that's kind of creeping up there. But Benton has been popping up quite a bit. I mean, this dude has a lot of power, a lot of strength, good size, and I think be a pleasant surprise in the league. I think that the more that we're switching to these interior defensive linemen that are just creating pressure and being able to use their freakish strength and athleticism, the better for guys like Keanu Benton.
Yeah, I completely agree. Dude showed out at the Senior Bowl. I think a lot of people had him. Well, I'd probably say a little bit lower than this. I know one of the guys that's kind of fallen is Siaka Ika. Has fallen quite a bit. Didn't have the greatest combine in the world.
And he's a big dude.
Yeah, and out of the gap fillers, I think he was the dude going into this. Keanu Benton was one of those guys, but showed a lot more pass rush ability or pressure, penetration ability at the Senior Bowl. So a lot just some ferocious ripping he was doing on some of those dudes in there. I think he one of the guys Notre Dame Jarrett Patterson.
He gave him the business.
He gave him the business. And then we got Mozzie Smith, who obviously number one on Bruce Feldman's freak list. He's a monster as well. He's just one of those guys that you really hope can produce in the NFL the way you would hope him to, just because of his potential and his strength. You just hope him to be like a Vita Vea and just get out of my way. Get the fuck out of my way. I don't want any of you bitches in my way. He's Vita
was different.
I know. I'm saying you hope that he would be someone like that, just because he's just a massive man that could. You'd hope he takes. Oh my gosh, why am I forgetting the commissioner's name right now? Yeah, goddamn Roger Goodell, and just lifts him up just like a Vita Vea move, but this time squeezes him to death.
Mozzie Smith, 25 total pressures, 19 hurries, 5 hits, 1 sack. 32 stops though. That's what stands out to me. 32 stops, just insane strength. We've seen it the last 2 years. We were talking about Mozzie Smith last year during the draft, man. He's gonna be a dude. Just put him up against guard, put him head on, put him at the nose, man. Let him push the center shit in. That's the type of stuff that I want to see. That's what I want to see. Because Mozzie is one of those dudes, man. He's one of those dudes. It's like you're just gonna line him up, and the center's he's gonna squat down, and he's gonna look up and make his checks, and then he's gonna see Mozzie just and he's the balls. You're just gonna see the balls shake. Yeah, you're just gonna see the balls shake. He's just one of those dudes, man.
No, it sounds like it. Moving on to Brian Brescia. Dude has been through a hell of a lot the last few years.
Some bad
bad injury luck, lost his baby sister in 2022 and played through it. Dude has been through a ton. And I it's unfortunate because I think that some of his he might drop a little bit. I think he'll still get first round. He should still get first round. A lot of people would potentially still say that he's number 2 in this draft for interior defensive line. But he's been productive. He just, I don't know. The injuries were a big concern.
He's missed a lot of games, and I mean, there's no denying the fact that he is just an athletic freak for his size. Like, he's a massive human being. And I mean, the injury concerns, yes, that is valid, but he's got the size, he's got the athleticism. He's just got to be a little more disciplined with the eyes and use his size and athleticism. He missed 31% of his tackles. That was the third worst in NCAA. The third worst. So let's get it together. You're a big dude. You're a big athlete. You're healthy now. You're working hard. Get to the league, show out. I just saw a video of him from when I think he was playing like high school ball or some upper level youth football, and he was massive.
Yeah,
he was a huge kid, and he was making those kids look like little munchkins, and it was hilarious because he's lining up in his set, and as soon as the ball snapped, it's like no effort, just like swim over them. His elbows like hitting the kid in the head. Like, he's a beast. He is an athlete. Use those traits the best way possible. I'm sure there's going to be some coach in the league that is going to see his traits, his athleticism, his size, and be like, that's our dude.
100%. I completely agree. I can't wait to see that that story just completely turn around for him and his family, and I'm super excited to see it. Number 2. Yeah. Claudio Clemson.
The top pressures at hey, for a guy who's like 5'7", that's pretty insane.
Yeah, he's not 5'7". He's not 5'7". All right, he's definitely
5'9". All right,
definitely.
I'll give him the 2 inches.
He's 6'1". Okay, people. He is 6'1", 280. He is he's undersized for his position. I mean, if you get him at 3 tech, we're talking a little bit 5. Like you're talking.
You're not going to put him at the 1.
You're not going to put him. That's not his game. That's not his bag. Although he has played on the interior very well, and it's ridiculous to watch him because he is like somewhat smaller than his matchups, and it doesn't matter. I am a big simp for pass rushers with a high motor, and this dude has it. He has a chip on his shoulder, and he doesn't give a freak who is in his way. He will rip right past you. He has the highest win rate over, I don't remember how many specific snaps or whatever, but out of anybody who has like a considerable amount of snaps, not like someone that's like barely played anybody, but technically has a higher win rate. Yeah, he has the highest, and in this class. And if you want some good highlights too, this is one of your guys. This is one of your guys. You go watch some of his stuff. It's just like so sexy.
I also should note. This is our top 5 interior defensive linemen. Okay. There needs to be more talk about Jonah Tabai. There needs to be more talk about Jonah Tabai.
That's what I said.
69 total pressures. Excuse me. But
it's ridiculous.
That's insane. And he's not a small dude. But Kalijah Cansey, our number 2, led the entire NCAA in pressure grade, 47 total pressures, 8 sacks, 9 hits, 30 hurries. A lot of people were comparing him to Aaron Donald. Gee, I wonder why. Maybe it's because they went to the same school. Maybe it's because they both have to use a stool to get a certain pot out of their kitchen. I don't know. It's one of those things.
He's taller than you.
By an inch.
It don't matter. Can you get the pot out of your kitchen?
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
But no, I love Cansey. I think that he's going to be one of the fun guys to watch in this draft class, because I mean, shit, there's people that are mocking him at like 9. There's people that are mocking him at like 20. There's people that are mocking him to the LA Rams. Like, yeah, let's pair him with Aaron Donald because they're the same. It's like, dude, like he's just gonna be fun.
I also don't want to hear it because everybody that's like, oh, it's not Aaron Donald. That's fine. No one thought Aaron Donald was Aaron Donald before Aaron Donald came out. No one thought like everyone was like Khalil Mack. They were like, man,
are you sure about that?
Shut up.
Are you sure about that?
Ridiculous.
No, I think the motor and the athleticism, the hands, dude. This is the thing is, we can talk about size, we can talk about explosiveness, we can talk about all this stuff, but the majority of the people that are talking about these things and saying, oh, Kalijah Cansey's too small, he's he's this, he's that. Okay, but what about the hands? Because offensive linemen these days, they're getting coached to not to get underneath the armpit like it used to be, or not, get them right in the tit. No, it's watch their fucking hands, because they're gonna they will flash hands and they'll hit you with the swim, they'll hit you with the rip, they'll hit you with all these moves, and you won't see it coming because you're paying attention to one thing, right? So the thing that Kalijah Cansey does so well is he uses his leverage. He uses his leverage in such amazing ways. Just because you're small does not mean that you can't play on the interior. You can still
all about them base.
My favorite phrase in football: low man wins.
Yep.
Always. And him being 5'5" is going to be an amazing. It just keeps getting shorter. But the fact that he is able to use his leverage and he has as high of a motor as he does is going to make him a really compelling pick. I'm excited to see where he goes in the draft and what team he goes to in the draft.
Yeah.
Let
him know. Yeah. All right. Jalen Carter. I think the only thing we need to talk about, obviously, is how dumb it is that people are making such a big deal about the him showing up to the combine 8 pounds over. Fine. Like, didn't look good in some of his reps, and people were super over analyzing. Like, the dude doesn't just lose that ridiculous amount of talent where he was projected number 1 overall. You don't just lose that. It's not like a quarterback who has like this crazy learning gap that they have to make up for in the NFL at the next level. Like, this dude just does what this dude does, and that's just it. That's all we need to talk about. That's all we need to think about. It's dumb. It's dumb.
The fact that he and Jordan Davis were allowed to play beside each other is so unfair.
That whole thing was
to
stupid.
Every team. Like, if
Deontay Wyatt, just
bro, if I'm an O-line coach and I'm who's up next on the schedule? Fucking Georgia, great. I'm gonna have to get a whole pack of adult diapers for the 3 interior offensive linemen. Don't worry about I'm gonna tell my sophomores and my freshmen, sorry boys, you ain't getting no snaps. I don't care if we're down by 60. You don't want to get humiliated. It's just unfair. He is an athletic freak. He's quite the smart player, despite what people would say. Like, he is a smart player. He uses his eyes very well. He can rip and read with the best of them. But the diagnosing is next level. The power is next level. I mean, he's just pushing guys back with one arm. You remember when he picked up, who was it? I think it was Jaden Daniels, quarterback for LSU, picked him up with one arm and carried him like 5 yards. I would quit. I would quit football. I would retire. If someone did that to me, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm retiring.
I would scrap.
I'd be like, don't put me down right this fucking second. I swear to God.
You swear to God what? you're
already as hard as I can. Oh my God.
Slapping the top of his head. All right. Edges.
Yes.
My personal opinion, I think it's the edge class is probably the deepest in this class, and there's so many options here. It's absolutely ridiculous. Obviously, we got the dude who got healthy and then blew up the combine. 100. Like, didn't get to play in the national championship, but once he was healthy enough, came into the combine, stomped everything, and then walked out. Also like seems like a great dude though. Like he is going to be. I just see him being a captain of it, like easily being a captain. Like he just has that personality.
Yeah,
that leadership personality that you love to see. Definitely more of a speed guy than he's not.
Yeah.
He's like that's kind of his whole bag.
Yeah, because he's how tall?
He's I don't know how tall he is. He's only like 238,
6'2", and before the combine, people were saying, "Oh, he's not going to be more than 220." And I was like, "Excuse me."
Yeah, he's got to be like 230s
I think he
now.
clocked in at like 227 at the draft.
Yeah, you keep talking. I'm gonna look up what it is, see what it is.
So like I think Nolan Smith has the opportunity. Like he has a bag. Like he, as a pass rusher, he's got a good bag of tricks. Like you said, he's going to be more of a speed guy, but with that comes issues for NFL offensive linemen. Like there are offensive linemen that are going to be a lot bigger than he is. They're going to be able to manhandle him, whatever. But he's shown on tape that that quick first step, he can get some offensive tackles on their heels. And that's what you want. Because if you're running a stunt or you're just looking for that inside move, like it's going to be there. Need a little bit more discipline, but I definitely think that Nolan Smith is a guy we could possibly see Nolan Smith go at 10. We could possibly see Nolan Smith go at 10. And to be honest, wouldn't be shocked. I think he's got a good skill set. The injury, obviously, concern, whatever, didn't play. That's fine. But I think as far as we're talking, NFL pass rushers, he's creative and he's going to keep adding to his game. And surprisingly, even for his size, he's a good run defender. Mm-hmm. He's a solid run defender, can hold the edge pretty well, which is again interesting considering his size.
Yeah, he's smart.
But he's smart. Yes, he's got instincts. He's an intellectual player. He's going to be really fun to watch. Good athlete.
I was right on the nose. 238, 6'2", 238. Yeah,
and still, it's not.
He still ran in the 4.3s.
Which is insane. It's insane.
1.47 split.
Sheesh.
Ridiculous. Okay, and next is Jared Van Ness. Different. I mean, Lucas. Yeah, why did I say Jared? Jared?
I don't know.
Why am I thinking?
I'm not going to talk about Subway.
Oh! It's because my mind was thinking Jared Verse. That's why. Jared Van Ness. Yeah. Anyways, Lucas Van Ness, Iowa. Definitely different.
Talk about a rise, man.
Oh,
holy crap.
I think a lot of it happened when Jared Verse went back.
Yeah.
To Florida State. I like Jared. Jared almost did it again. I like Lucas Van Ness as kind of like a poor man's Aiden Hutchinson, where it's very like mainly power. Didn't start at Iowa. Still weird to me, but it is what it is. I think him is
They were a mess, dude. They were a mess this year. Like, can we blame them?
No,
they were a mess.
It's gonna be interesting to see where he goes at the next level. I mean, I think he's too small for a three tech. I think you're gonna probably have him more in a 4-man.
He's 6'5", 270. Like that's pretty decent size. Like you can. I feel like you could play him inside in your nickel sets.
Yeah, in a perfect world, I would like to see him in like a 4-man front.
Sure.
Him and I think Miles Murphy as well. I would like to see.
But Lucas is he's an explosive athlete, and that's really what it is. It's that combination of the size, the speed, the veracity. Like it's crazy that he wasn't starting. But I'm not surprised that he's getting so much hype coming into this draft process, because we always talk about draft on traits, like tools. This guy's got tools. And with the changing from, those traditional nickel sets to now we're teams are going heavy into the penny fronts. Like, I feel like there's a role for him on a multitude of teams, whether it's inside, whether you're playing at him at the 3 or even the 4, like they did with the number 1 guy. I think there's an opportunity for you to use his power and speed and athleticism in different areas in your defense. Is he going to be that amazing pass rusher? I mean, he had 46 total pressures, 9 sacks, 31 hurries.
Yep.
Get him coming off the edge. That's a big boy coming off the edge.
Yep. And someone who's kind of similar play style, in my opinion, is Miles Murphy, who I just think has, I think, just a higher ceiling, honestly, than Lucas. Kind of very similar. A lot of power. Yeah. A lot of power. A lot. I would see him also probably as a 4-man front. He had like 21 and 20 hurries, I think, this last season. Hurries. Yeah.
34 total pressures, though.
Yeah, I don't know. This Miles Murphy is very interesting because I think he's going to be the first like end off the board in this potential end, depending on how you see Tyree Wilson.
That's another
it's kind of, is that, would you call that a tweener? Like
I think I would call Tyree more of the tweener between being that like, is he a pure outside guy? Like, am I going to play him like at 9? Am I going to play him at 7? Or
see, if you're like a Will Anderson, you have more versatility in that, where you can be on the end no matter.
Right.
I mean, you could either be an outside linebacker or you could just be on the very end of it. And I just don't
see those dudes too. But like Tyree is 6'6", 270. Like, do I play him inside? Do I play him outside? What do I do with it?
I think a smart defensive coordinator is going to have a lot of fun with him. A lot of kind of like a Dan Quinn with Micah Parsons, as far as moving him wherever he is best suited, because he just because of the athletic upside of him, I'd be able to, just like put him wherever, see where it works. I'm sure in training camp he's just going to be annoying the hell out of a bunch of offensive linemen, and they're like, oh, that works the best. So put him there.
I mean, Tyree had 50 total pressures this season, 8 sacks, 10 hits, and 32 hurries. When you watch him on tape and you see how violent he is, and he's also, dude, he does this thing sometimes where like he'll lull the offensive tackle, like he'll take that quick first step and then like kind of pause, and the tackle will be like, is it over? Is it done? And then Tyree's just like going into his chest, like, bah! Like
Tyree Wilson is the reason why the whole 33-inch arms for offensive linemen can be a problem, because you will let this dude get a hand in your chest,
you're done.
Yeah, him and Miles Murphy, like you that's a big problem.
Yeah, it's strength.
And then obviously number 1, Will Anderson. I don't understand how everybody got off of Will Anderson so much. He had 1 less sack and like 8 less pressures. Like he didn't go anywhere. He didn't go. I think he still had 14 sacks or something this year, and he had 15 last year. It's not that big. Everybody, calm down.
Yeah,
everyone's freaking out, overanalyzing. He's still Will Anderson. Still going to be super productive in the league. I don't think he is going to be. I think people have calmed down a little bit as far as the hype train.
Yeah.
From last year, where everybody was like, it's the second coming of Jesus.
Number one.
But he's still going to be a very, very productive edge in the NFL.
Yeah, he's got good discipline in the run game. You'd like to see him be just a tick more disciplined in the run game and holding the edge. But man, 65 total pressures, 14 sacks, 9 quarterback hits, and 42 hurries. My goodness, man. Why are we overthinking it? Stop overthinking it. He's an athletic freak. I don't think that he's been injured. He hasn't had any major injuries. So this is a guy who's coming into the league relatively healthy. a guy that honestly I've comped to Von Miller. I know a lot of people think like no one's going to be as good as Von Miller, but there's going to be dudes that he's got the skill set.
Yep, he's got the length too, about 34-inch arms. He's got those lanky arms, but plenty of muscle to back it up. I don't think he has the. If anything, I would say I wish he would be able to work on his base a little bit. I think he kind of works top heavy a little bit and trusts his. He's kind of a weird hybrid of, as far as like tendencies to be speed and power a little bit. He's balanced. I just don't think his power side is as good as him using his length to kind of rip and get underneath and then really control the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I mean, he also, I mean, as a guy who's versatile, played 5 snaps in the slot, played 4 in the box. He got an interception last year and a pass breakup. Like,
you don't do that. That would piss people off with NFL teams. Did my premier pass rusher just drop into coverage?
Full blown meltdown right now.
That's not what you do.
That's not what you get to the quarterback. They're athletes. They're be athletes. Jeez. Last one.
Yeah.
The worst group of them all. We saved the worst for last. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Listen. I listen. Outside of Brian Branch, to me, it's kind of a wash. Right. I like some of these
message that I sent you about this class. Read it out loud right now. What did I tell you?
Well, now you're gonna make me look for it. You said
what did I say?
I'm looking.
Literally said it earlier.
This safety class is ass.
It's ass. It is ass.
It'd be that long. Read out loud that the safety class is ass.
This safety class is ass.
I mean, like I said, outside of Brian Branch, it's kind of you're getting a lot of big nickels, a lot of whatevers, not a lot of ball hawks at all. Brian Branch is going to be your most versatile out of any of them. And then just quite a few bruisers. Christopher Smith is actually probably is decent as far in coverage, as far as like being able to predict the play a lot better than the other ones. The other ones are a lot of see ball, get ball. Not gonna lie. Antonio Johnson is like a big dude that's just he sees it happen and then he'll attack and he will throw you down pretty viciously. But outside of that, I would say
I like some guys in this class. I know, like, we're both a fan of JL Skinner from Boise State.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude is big. He's a big safety. He gives me Cam Chancellor vibes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like just like a big dude that's roaming.
You just always have to be. That's the type of person or player that person. They're both person and player. And both people too. Is that wide receivers are nervous coming across the field. Like if you are crossing the field, if you are bending towards the middle of the field where you know this dude is probably just like a crocodile waiting just with his eyes up above the water, just ready to that's when it gets scary. Some of these guys are like that. I think probably Antonio Johnson a little bit, battle a little bit, but I think
Battle's more of your like middle of the field open guy. But let's play a quick little game here. Okay. Let's play a quick little game. Of the 5 safeties that are listed on our list, our top 5 safeties.
Are you going to talk about RAS scores right now?
No. Which one of them was top 5 in pass breakups? Out of these 5, which one of these was top 5 in NCAA in pass breakups?
Probably Chris.
No.
Wasn't Chris?
No.
Okay. Who is it?
Number 1.
Oh,
Brian
yeah,
Branch.
that makes sense.
Of these 5 safeties that we have,
Oh,
which of them was top 5 in the NCAA in interceptions? Go ahead.
Brian Branch?
No.
It's Chris, isn't it?
No.
What? Chris had like
none of them.
Oh,
none of them. None of them. None of them. That's how bad this fucking class. None of them. Of these.
That's why I was curious. I was like, huh?
Listen,
Yeah.
I this safety class to me is just not. It's not sexy. Like, it's not. There's no one in this class that I'm like.
There's no Kyle Hamilton.
I need to have like. I would love JL Skinner. But me personally, for my team, I would love JL Skinner. Why? Because he's probably going to be there in the 3rd round. I would love a guy like Jair. I can't even say his name. Jair Brown.
Yeah.
I would love a guy like him. He's versatile. You can put him in the slot. Also, probably going to be there in the 3rd round, right? All of these dudes, they don't come off as starters. Outside of Brian Branch, I feel like Brian Branch is probably the one guy that's going to be a bona fide defensive starter in this class. The rest of them, I don't love it. I don't love it. I don't love it at all.
Don't love it.
Last one. Okay.
Oh, we're not going to recap yet.
Hang
back.
On. Last one.
Yeah.
Of these top 5, which of them was also top 5 in coverage grades?
I don't think any of them.
None of them. None of them. The closest one was Brian Branch. He was ranked 7th. He was ranked 7th.
Yeah, no, not at all. None of them are even going over the RAS scores. Also, that's what I thought you were going with. None of them were even in the green. None of them. So that's that. Brian, Jamie Johnson was 6.07. That's as high as we're going.
Yeah, it's not the best class for safeties, and I hate to like not give as much detail on these guys because it's just the thing is it's just not a good class. Like, it's not a good safety class at all. Yeah. It's very underwhelming. I feel like a lot of people were coming into this class, like coming into this draft class. I feel like there were people that were like, "Ooh, we might have some dudes at safety this year," but the reality is like it's not a good group. I feel like next year we might have a good group. There's some dudes in this class though that like are not on our top 5 that could be little sleepers. Brown was one of those dudes. Skinner's one of those dudes. I feel like Skinner is just going to be one of those guys that like he's going to get taken in the 3rd or 4th round, and people are going to be like, "Who the hell?"
He's going to be that highlight dude. He's going to come out of nowhere, and everybody's going to be like, "What the hell was that?" No one's even going to see it coming, and that's good. And he might get in trouble for it. Not gonna lie, he's that guy. He's that guy. He's the headhunter of the bunch.
Yeah, and it's a big dude, like 6'4", just insane measurables. Brandon Joseph was another guy that was supposed to be like one of the top safeties coming into this class, and everybody thought he was going to come out last year out of Northwestern. And he didn't, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna grad transfer to Notre Dame," and his just fell off.
Yep, 100%. All right, everybody, we are gonna recap here. Here's our top 5 for each position. So all in all, like it's a solid draft for edges, cornerbacks. On that, we're talking defensive side. We already talked offense. Edges, cornerbacks. Interior defensive line at the top half is top quarter is decently solid. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I think cornerback and edge are going to be your top, your deepest position classes.
Yeah.
You're going to get some good interior defensive linemen. There's a couple dudes at linebacker that they're going to be good.
Yeah.
And then safety is just terrible class. Don't love it.
Yep. All right. So next week we are going to do another mock draft. Right before the following week, which is going to be the real draft. So this is going to be our final mock draft coming up next week, next Thursday at 5:30, just like normal. And then the actual draft the following week will go live, and we'll go through the whole first round with y'all. So make sure you jump in here, and we'll be talking the whole entire time. We'll have some friends in here, just having having some good old times.
Yeah.
All right. So you all just have a great rest of your week. We love you all. Thanks for coming in. Deuces.
See you later.